Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. We all love Percy Jackson, so I thought I'd go ahead and make a video about his entire life. Obviously, it's going to be a multi-part series, but for this video, we're going to be going over the first 3 books in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, so spoilers ahead. Anyways, let's get started. The story starts out when Percy is 12. At this point, he's at Yancey Academy after being expelled from every school he's ever attended. During a field trip to a museum, Percy finds himself being attacked by who he thought was just his annoying math teacher, Miss Dodds, but who's actually a Fury. He finds help from one of his other teachers, Mr. Brunner, who we later find out is the Centaur Chiron in disguise. Mr. Brunner, or Chiron, throws Percy a pen which transforms into a sword to fight back against the Fury, and Percy uses it to kill Miss Dodds. Percy returns home to his disgusting stepdad Gabe, who's only around because his stench covers Percy's demigod scent and keeps monsters away. After dealing with him, Percy's mom Sally tells him to pack his things because she's planned them a trip to the beach. While on vacation, Percy's lovely trip is interrupted by Grover, who appears out of nowhere at their cabin. This is where Grover reveals himself as a satyr, tasked with protecting Percy. Grover, panicked, tells them that they need to leave right now. The three of them get in the car and start down the road, but are attacked by the Minotaur. Their car is flipped and Grover is injured. Sally yells at Percy to run to camp, the only place he'll be safe. They drag Grover all the way to HalfBlood Hill, but the Minotaur grabs hold of Sally. She disappears in a golden flash, making Percy believe that she died. In his surge of despair and anger, Percy breaks the horn off the Minotaur's head and stabs it in the chest. Then he drags Grover past camp borders before falling into unconsciousness. Percy wakes up to meet Annabeth, Mr. D, and Chiron. They tell him that he's a demigod, and that this is Camp HalfBlood, a safe haven for demigods. Percy's placed into the Hermes cabin, until he gets claimed, where he meets Luke. Percy goes on to get used to camp until he gets claimed as a son of Poseidon during Capture the Flag. Percy then gets sent on his quest with Annabeth and Grover to find Zeus's Master Bolt in order to prevent a civil war between the gods. Along their quest, they fight many monsters like Medusa, Chimera, and the Furies. They also meet Ares. Eventually, the trio gets to the underworld, where Percy finds out that his mother is still alive, and that the golden flash he saw was actually Hades saving her before the Minotaur killed her. Hades explains how his Helm of Darkness has been missing, and also finds Zeus's Master Bolt in Percy's backpack. He offers Percy his mother in exchange for the Master Bolt. Percy is torn, but reluctantly decides to continue with his mission. Upon leaving the underworld, he once again faces Ares. Percy realizes that Ares set him up by putting the Master Bolt in his backpack, and has Hades' Helm of Darkness. The two fight, and Percy surprisingly beats the war god. He sends the helm back to Hades, who returns Sally Jackson to the world of the living, and journeys up to Olympus to return Zeus's Master Bolt, ending the brewing civil war among the gods. When they return to camp, Percy, Annabeth, and Grover are praised and congratulated, regarded as heroes. To escape all the attention, Percy goes to train to clear his mind, and finds Luke. Luke reveals himself as the true thief of the Helm of Darkness and the Master Bolt, and explains his hatred toward the gods. He summons a pit scorpion. Percy quickly kills it, but not after being stung. The poison kicking in, Percy rushes back to camp to get help, but collapses. Luckily, he's found by several forest nymphs, and is carried back to camp to get healed. Percy returns back to school instead of staying at camp year-round. His year is going fine until he's attacked by giants during a school dodgeball game. He escapes with the help of Annabeth and his new friend Tyson. The three of them go to camp only to find out that Talia's pine tree had been poisoned, weakening the defenses around the camp. Of course, Chiron was blamed for this and he's fired, replaced by Tantalus. Clarice is assigned a quest to locate the Golden Fleece in order to heal Talia's tree. Percy and Annabeth also decide to go because of the visions Grover had been sending Percy, using the newly made empathy link between the two. They voyage through the Sea of Monsters, battling through Circe's Island and the Sirens' Island, until finally confronting Polyphemus, the Cyclops who has Grover captive and is guarding the Golden Fleece. Percy and Annabeth team up with Clarice and Tyson to fight Polyphemus, and manage to escape with the Golden Fleece. Percy sends Clarice back to camp with the Fleece once they return to the mortal world, right before he, Annabeth, and Tyson are taken captive by Luke. Luckily, Percy was able to send a secret iris message to camp in order to prove Chiron's innocence, and the three of them are rescued by Chiron as well as many other party ponies. When they get back to camp, they place the fleece on the tree, which not only restores the camp's magical defenses, but also brings Talia back into her human form. The Titan's Curse starts with Talia, Percy, and Annabeth heading to Westover Hall, a school where Grover found 2 demigod children, Nico and Bianca D'Angelo. Upon arriving, the group is attacked by a manticore. Luckily, Artemis and her hunters show up to help fight, and they manage to drive back the Minotaur, but not before Annabeth is taken captive. Here, Artemis invites Bianca to join the ranks of the hunters, and she accepts. The hunters, Percy and Talia, return to camp with Nico and Bianca. For the next few days, Percy has nightmares about Annabeth struggling under the weight of an unknown object. He visits the Oracle, but none of his questions are answered. Then, one day, during a game of Capture the Flag, the Oracle walks into the battlefield and issues a quest to Zoe Nightshade, the leader of the Hunters of Artemis. She decides to bring Talia, Grover, Phoebe, and Bianca along with her for the quest. Despite not being invited, since Annabeth is still in danger, Percy decides to go anyways. While attempting to sneak away, he's caught by Nico, who makes Percy promise to keep Bianca safe during the quest. Percy promises, then takes Blackjack and follows the others. Soon, the others find themselves attacked by a Nemean lion. Percy helps defeat the monster and is finally accepted as one of the members of the quest. They journey across the country, chased by Atlas's skeleton warriors, until they come across one of Hephaestus's junkyards. Here, a defective machine wakes up and attacks the group. Bianca sacrifices herself to defeat the machine. Burdened by the death of one of their own, the rest move on to the Hoover Dam, where the iconic dam jokes originated. This is also where Rachel is introduced. The group eventually gets to Mount Othrys, where they meet Atlas, who has Artemis and Annabeth captive. Artemis, trapped holding the weight of the sky, is unable to join the fight. Percy knows that they need the help of an Olympian, so he carries the sky so that Artemis can join the fight. After the fighting ends, the group having tricked Atlas into taking the burden of the sky again, the group discovers that Zoe Nightshade has died. After rescuing Annabeth, they go to Mount Olympus to talk with the gods. It's confirmed that the Titan Kronos was rising again, and Talia also accepts Artemis's offer to become the new lieutenant for the Hunters, removing herself as one of the candidates for the Great Prophecy. Back at camp, Percy breaks the news to Nico that his sister died. Nico is overwhelmed with anger, sadness, and betrayal. Just then, 4 of Atlas's skeletons show up, but in his rage, Nico splits the earth, sending them to the underworld, before fleeing into the forest. It dawns on Percy that Nico is a child of Hades, and that the Great Prophecy could also be referring to him. While talking to Grover and Annabeth about it, Grover mentions hearing the voice of Pan in his head. Percy also decides that he won't let the responsibility of the Great Prophecy fall on Nico, and that he will carry it himself. And that's where I'll stop for this video. If you want more info on what happened to Nico after he fled camp, check out the video I made on Nico's entire life. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.